On the rebranding.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so what is really this rebranding all about?
Well, to answer this question, I would like to take you back memory lane, how we got here. We all know about Aiteo, Eastern Exploration and Production Company, operators of Well 29, jointly with an NNPCL joint venture company. Aiteo resumed operatorship of this concession well over 10 years ago, and with the challenges we're beginning to have in the Niger Delta, vandalization, crude oil theft, brought us to an all-time low. I'm sure you heard the minister in a presentation earlier today, where production, while we were producing, delivery came to an all-time low of almost 0% being received at the terminal. This continued for a while and led the company into a total shutdown, because it got to a point where we could not continue to bear the huge losses. It was a survival situation, and we thank God for the ingenuity, the resilience and the guidance of our founder and executive vice chairman, Mr. Benedict Peters, who through his sterling vision led us to that very trying period of about 18 months of non-production. In that period, we had to come up with a new way of doing things. We could not continue with the old. Channel our crude through the NCTL had become a disaster for us as a company. And with that, in partnership with a third-party operator, we started what you call an alternative evacuation system to alternately evacuate the crude from our facilities all the way to offshore brass. And so in doing that, for the first time, what had never happened in that area was a barging process. Now, based on this sequence, through the third-party operator who partnered with us, the president at that time and the federal government approved what you call the Nembe Crude Oil Export Terminal, which was located offshore brass for the receipt of our crude. At about the same time, too, was a launch of what you call the Nembe Crude Oil Blend. As you recognize, our crude used to be part of the former Bonny Light basket, but with the new delivery pattern we had set into play, we now had the crude going to the Nembe Crude Oil Export Terminal, being produced from Nembe fields, mostly from Nembe fields, and the crude was now named Nembe Crude Oil, which has been accepted internationally. This crude has been launched in Europe, has been launched in Asia, has been launched in America, and has received international recognition. You know, having that together, it was only just a natural sequence. You have a terminal, which is Nembe Crude Oil Export Terminal. You have a crude, which is Nembe Blend, which is produced from the Nembe community, and in recognition and identifying with the host community. You know, it was just a sequence that followed. And so, in the wisdom of the board and the various stakeholders, it was seen as the next move for the company to officially rename our operations as Nembe Exploration Production Company Limited, operators of OML 29 joint venture. I think that history gives clarity.
Yeah, but the security crisis in the northern region that affects evacuation of crude is still one major issue that we still see. How are we sure that this kind of situation will not affect the production, your production directly, and then the level of production we see from across the Niger Delta where we produce our oil?
Okay, I would rather like to speak, I will not speak for across the Niger, I would like to speak from our own situation. Now, we were one of those badly hit by the theft and vandalization. And for the first time, which was novel to us, we had to start with a barging process. So what we've been doing for the last almost 2 years now is barging the crude. We load them at temporary facilities at Nembe in 2 barges, which now go offshore brass to the terminal and for final export. So we've been on the barging process, and with the barging process, for the first time, in 10 years of our operatorship, we are seeing our crude volumes end to end. So we see what is produced, what leaves Nembe, and what gets to the terminal. Have there been other pockets of thefts around? Yes, we do see pockets of thefts. Occasionally, we see vandalization on some of our wellheads. We see some pipeline thefts here and there. But I mean, where we are now, it's way different, from where we are coming from. For the first time, I mean, we're able to account for what goes into the badge and where it is discharged. And the cost of production, yes, we still see little pockets of thefts around from time to time. The government is doing a tremendous lot of help, and we have continued to partner with the host communities as well. This is NNPCL. You're a party to it. You can't afford to let it go down as well. You're a party to this investment. That is the sensation we continue to share with the host communities, and so jointly and collaboratively, we're trying to bring this theft to an all-time low. For now, I cannot tell it has been eradicated, but we'll be able to bring to an all-time low in the cost of our production.
Now, so one critical challenge is the cost of oil production per se in Nigeria is literally one of the highest you can find in the world. At some point, we're looking at about $45 to $48 per barrel, if what the revenue agencies are quoting are really true. And then here you are trying to badge your crude. At what cost does it really affect your operation?
Are you the one that came up with $45? Do you have your calculation for this?
The Federal Inland Revenue told the lawmakers.
Did they say that was the value from Aiteo from NNPCL fields?
It is not directly. Your organization wasn't mentioned, yes.
But I don't think those are our figures. I don't think those come near close to our figures. However, like I said, we are badging today, and the badging process is an interim one. It's phase one. We've called, like I told you, it's an alternative on an alternate evacuation system. So the first part is where we're on, which is badging. We're now going to transition from the badging to subsea pipeline, which we are about commencing. The subsea pipeline runs all the way from our facilities through the Nembe River, through the subsea, all the way down to the brass, all the way down to the brass terminal, which that's the final point of our evacuation process. With that, of course, we expect that costs will drop tremendously, because we'll be reverting back to the pipeline system, which is, of course, obviously cheaper than the badging system. So it's transitional, what we are doing, and it's existential. We need to exist. The nation needs the revenue at all costs. There are no options right now. If you have a better option, I would like you to share it with me.
Thank you so much for talking to us. And I pray that everything works together and we are able to increase Nigeria's production.
Which we're already doing.
Oh, that's good.
Yes, we are about 60,000 barrels already. Where the works we are doing with alternative evacuation, as we move into the next phase, we have our permanent crude treatment coming up shortly. As we move to the next phase, we are going to grow to about 75,000 before year end, and we are running up to our vision is to take production to 120,000 barrels minimum, which is what we believe is our installed capacity, and even much more. So we are in for the long run. We are in partnership with the government. We believe in the vision of the government. My boss, the executive vice chairman, the founder of the company, believes strongly in Nigeria and has committed his all into this project. And so in months to come, I'm sure you'll be impressed with the things you will hear, and you'll be here to see the figures yourself. And I'm hoping that you will call for another interview when you see those figures rolling out. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.